thank you for that wonderful applause. This is the first event of the, it's still a little bit unofficially, but I started officially one, first event of the International Trombone Festival here at Juilliard in New York. And hi to everyone at home watching on the Horn Hangouts. There's already people watching from Alaska, Singapore, Beijing, Austria. My mom's watching in England. Thanks, Mom. And it's fantastic that you're all out here. I'm a little bit out of my depth today because I'm surrounded by trombone players, which is actually very lovely, I must say. We have something to tell you. Today's Hangout was advertised as the World Trombone Quartet. Today we have the World Trombone Duo. Unfortunately, Stefan and Michelle are not very well and couldn't make the trip, which we're really sad about. But I know Stefan is watching, and we send you lots of love and hope you feel better very, very soon. But we are very, very lucky to have today Joe and Jörgen. Thank you so much for coming. It's so great to see you. When Stefan, it was actually Stefan's idea to do the Hangout, and he said, "Can you come to New York and do a Hangout for the trombones?" I was like, okay. It's not as easy because we've become very perfectionistic, as they say, perfectionistic with the Horn Hangouts, and we've even got Jakob from Belfast from the Digital Concert Hall up there in the box at Juilliard helping us out with the stream. He's come over especially, and the Juilliard team are all running the stream from here, so we've been so lucky. Everyone just wanted to make it work for you guys. So, welcome. The main reason why we wanted to do a Hangout was because of your CD. You guys all got together. It's called Just for Fun. So, how did the idea come?
Well, first of all, welcome to Internet Land, and I want to thank you for hosting this wonderful program. And before I answer that question, please check out all the great stuff that you've done on Horn Hangout. It's just the Lufthansa. I don't know if you've seen the Lufthansa Orchestral and what she did with that, and interviewing all the pilots. And there's an actual Lufthansa Orchestra. I think that's just amazing.
You like that?
I love it. That was just great.
So I actually emailed Joe and Alessi saying, "Hey, I like the program." I was very, very happy.
Yeah. But anyway, we got together. When was it? A couple of years ago.
I think 2009 was the first time we was together.
And
quite a few years ago, right?
Yeah, I think so. And time flies. So anyway, for trombone players, playing trombone quartets is like playing in a string quartet. And it's there's so many famous string quartets. And many years ago, I was involved in a trombone quartet for a time, and trombone quartets come and go. And
even for gigs, they come.
Yeah. And the Paris Trombone Quartet is a very famous quartet. And so we got the idea of let's make a quartet. And we picked some of the greatest players, and we're honored to play with Michelle Becquet and Stefan Schultz. And so it's just like any other group. We got together and let's make a recording and get some new pieces commissioned. And that's what we did. And so it's been just a great honor to play with all these.
It's a really interesting thing because you guys play actually totally different. You come from different styles. I mean, the French trombone style, you play trombone, German style. You guys, what do you play on German trombones as well?
I play on French trombone.
Oh, sorry. I should know this. You guys know this. I don't know this. Oops.
We play sometimes German.
And your Phil?
Well, yeah, my instrument is an American instrument, but it has a Swiss valve, so.
So multi-culti.
Yeah, well, that's also one of the reasons it's called the World Quartet. It's something pretentious or something, but it was just the first concert we did was a concert in a festival in Holland, our festival, Star Factory Festival, and the theme of the festival was Meet the World, from all over the world, especially for that, and the different styles getting together. And we had the idea of making a trombone quartet, so we said we could play, and they sort of told us to do a trombone quartet.
When we set this up, the first man from Jörgen was, we've got to explain that name to everyone. Because I thought the World Trombone Quartet, I mean, it is amazing, it's for the best trombone players in the world, but you didn't want me to explain it like that, did you?
No, it's not, we don't mean it in any pretentious way, just it's people from different parts of the world getting together. And actually, what's the nice thing about it, what you said, the different styles. Of course, when we play in our situation, our orchestra, we have different styles because the orchestras are different. But it's great to feel that if you play with the musicians like we are, that actually you are very open for ears, you get together and you make something, it's a nice mix of it. So I think it's too much divided in different. It's great that we have different styles. I love that. It should stay like that. It would be very boring if everybody starts to play the same. But it doesn't mean you cannot play together. And you have to choose to play one way or the other, and the other way is wrong. No, that's something that we feel really strongly that we respect each other a lot, and we really think that if you try to get together, you can make some kind of nice mix of it.
That's absolutely right. So what would you say that you picked up from the others?
Well, just the different touch, the way people do things. It's always interesting to listen to other players, especially in the piece we're going to play later. Because we're all playing the same material, the same themes and so forth, but everybody does it slightly differently. And I just find that interesting. I'm always listening, the slight inflection here, it's very subtle. All these things are so subtle, but when you add them all up together, it's a huge difference. But you have to really listen. And I think what's great about this group is everybody's listening. Nobody's trying to prove any kind of point. We're just trying to work together. And I think that's the success of a great ensemble.
I agree. I'm just going to let you guys know where people are watching from. This is so fascinating. There's a horn playing Joe Alessi fan watching in Missouri. That's Matthew. Hi, Matthew. We've got Alondra from Mexico. Jonathan from Scorchio Moffat. Where's that? You want to know where that is? Let us know where that is, please. Buenos Aires, Matias, Fort Collins, Colorado, Puerto Rico, Ramon, Larry, Minneapolis. You are watching in Perth, Australia. It's very late at night. I actually had Nick McKay write to me today and said, I'm sorry, my phone is asleep. So isn't that amazing? Portugal, Kevin, West Stockbridge, Massachusetts. It's fantastic. I absolutely love this thing, and I'm so happy that the trombone nerds are just as active as the horn nerds, because we have the horn nerds pretty well trained. The horn nerds are fantastic. We all join up for these Horn Hangouts, but it's nice to see the trombone fans out there. There's a good question that's just come in. Josh Shabir says, how did the quartet rehearse with its members being on different sides of the Atlantic? How did that work?
The only rehearsals we had was around the concerts we did. The most rehearsals we had actually was around the recording of the CD, because that's also why it's called Just Pop Down. We were invited for a festival in Norway, Tromsø, and when we were looking for the dates, and we found out we are all free the whole week. So then we said, why not get together the whole week?
Mr. Why is not that? 1 free week and they all just leave.
So we rehearsed, why not? Because we just got done, so that's why it's called Just Pop Down. And so sometimes it's a bit tricky what kind of repertoire you choose, because we basically have one rehearsal getting together. So you have to have repertoire that everybody can prepare themselves and basically put together quickly now.
You say that, but this repertoire that you've chosen is not exactly repertoire you can put together very quickly. You use, I know it's a Schneider or Schneider. Schneider. You know, it's complicated stuff. It's a kind of chef on, so it's two stuff on board the piece. You have a Dutch composer on a Martin Fonse. I mean, it's not easy stuff to put together, Joe. Did you keep women into shape?
Well, they put me into shape, that's for sure. I think when we played the material and we talked about it, and we had some great rehearsals, and of course a great ensemble. Sometimes they rehearse, for a whole year. We didn't have that luxury, so when we recorded the material, you have a chance to talk and discuss more options. So we did a lot of, there's a thing called rehearse and record. And we went back to listen to some things, and we discussed different ways to do things. And that's sort of the way, you have to work very quickly. And it's very important that everybody's intonation and everything lines up. And there's never, my teacher told me a story. My old teacher, Glenn Dodson, he had recorded some stuff with the Chicago Symphony, low brass section. he said, when they sat down before, they said nothing. And that's what kind of ensemble it was. So we didn't really have to say tons of stuff. We just sat down and played. Yeah, and I think that's the great thing about these musicians is that there's very little discussion, only when necessary, and people just listening and playing and working together.
So how did you choose what to go on the CD? I mean, Stefan brought Daniel in probably, because the band is doing quite a lot of trombone. You brought Martin Funster, there's Schumann and Handel, and how did you decide?
The first concert, we had only 3 or 4 pieces, and then we did over the last 5 years. I think we did 4 concerts, 4 projects. Every year there was like 1 or 2 pieces added, so they came with something, and let's try it as well. And a few things we got arranged, especially for the CD. So it was just like emailing around, who could we ask, what would be nice, what would fit, and everybody brought in some ideas, and in the end, this was mixed.
I have to interrupt you, and we just want to say that Stefan Schultz is watching. He's on the chat. He said, "Hi friends, I'm really sad not to be here. Have a fantastic week, and lots of love from Stefan." Stefan! He was absolutely gutted not to come. He really was. And it was like yesterday. He told us. Anyway, isn't it amazing that people can watch them? My mother's watching England.
Yeah, and I should also say, just to make sure that you all know that Sarah plays in the Berlin Philharmonic. She's a member of the orchestra in the horn section, an amazing horn player. So, yeah, I just wanted to.
Oh, just so that they don't think I'm some girl who just turned up to take the interview. Well, I am just some girl, but I actually prefer playing below the stage, so bass trombone would be probably my next instrument. I was like, maybe worried, I think I might have to play with them today. What a better solution.
It's a compliment that you could double as a bass trombone player.
Yes. That's the biggest praise I've had in years. Listen, Paul from Kansas City is asked to say, it's safe to say you two are huge musical heroes for trombonists around the world. Who were some of your musical heroes growing up, or even still today?
I have many. I mean, there's some trombone heroes, but there's also general music heroes. There isn't a lot to non-trombone players also. But in the trombone world, I'm extremely lucky and honored to play this project. Michel Victor and Joe were actually 2 of my teachers. I never studied with Joe, but I came to have lessons, and I listened to him a lot and to Michel a lot. So that were always the ones that I listened to, and Christian Lindbergh, of course. So that were the things that were out there always. And other than that, I'm lucky to play in a great orchestra, and I love to play with all the soloists that are by, this kind of. For trombone, there was one other one that the first trombone sound I ever heard was Herbie Green, 21 trombones. When I was, I think, 6 or 7 years old, my father gave me a cassette of that. And I played it so much that it broke. And that's always been my sort of my reference for sound, and that's why I wanted to play trombone.
What about non-trombone influences?
One of the great concerts that I was really, really impressed by was one concert I heard from World Trombone Quartet when he was still playing and in great shape. That was one of the moments that sort of opened my mind about music. And I was lucky to have a few teachers also in Holland, non-trombone. Brian Pollard was the former principal bassoon of the orchestra, a great musician, and I worked with him quite a while. Anna Basma was a famous Dutch cellist. So they were for me always people who guided me a little bit to music.
I think that's really interesting because I think we all hear it happens to little people. Students go to practice rooms and then only concentrate on their instruments. And I hear this all over the place. We spent a day with Richard Marsalis yesterday filming the Child Thinking Center, and we have a gospel that I on this week filming it. Both of them, these amazing music, all of them, they say you've got to know your music from right from the very beginning and Baroque and even before, right up to what you hear on the radio today, even if you don't like it. So we know all that stuff.
What I wanted to say, I just named a few names, but there's too many actually. Because it's everything you listen to influences you. I think that's why I also tell my students, listening to things is the most important thing. And you have an idea about how you would like to sound, and you can start working on it. It doesn't necessarily happen that you can sound like you want to sound, but at least you have an idea where you want to go by listening to great examples.
Jörgen, who are your influences?
Well, I grew up in a musical family, so my mother had a beautiful voice, and so she, outside of the trombone, it was really her, probably the main influence in the way that I play and so forth. And she sang for that, actually. She was a well-known singer.
There's a little bit dedicated on your website.
Yeah, she's wonderful. Anyway, so, but trombone player Irving Green, of course, is, and Dick Nash. They're both going to be here. Tomorrow, Irving will do we're going to have a big tribute to him.
Which you're all going to, of course.
Yes.
We need to live stream all this, right? We'll come and live stream next time for you.
There's so many. There's so many people that have influenced me. So, anyway, probably my mother. I think for phrasing and I think she taught me a lot.
You can learn so much from singers. And I think it's just words for breathing, freedom, expression, kindness.
and J.J. Johnson, of course. That's where I listened to him so much that his sound, he had a special warm sound that, he probably could have played been a classical player because he had that warm, rich sound. And so, I think I grew out a lot of his records as well.
And I've always found, in interviewing people, I've always found the best musicians are the ones that have really listened to a huge variety of music, and really without exception, I think, of these great musicians. It's really important, I think, for students to know that, especially for our schools, we get very involved in Mozart concertos and Strauss concertos. There is a life around that. So we have Miles in it, 20 past 11 in Japan. He has the exam tomorrow, but he has to watch this live stream. That's great. Questions Anderson Palera, so the bass trombone player from Venezuela. And the Curtis Bones are saying, greetings from the Curtis Institute of Music Trombone Studio. We are happy that you guys are watching live from here. Wow, from here in this room, my goodness. So if anyone in the room have a question, you probably do, we can take a couple, but do let me know. It always happens at the beginning, everyone's like, and then at the end there's too many, and we can't take them all. So if anybody has one, then wait.
Joe, you have family members that were brass players as well. Could you talk about that a little bit?
Let me just repeat that. So the microphones, what's your name?
Craig Sanford from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Great, nice to meet you. And yes, Joe, you have brass playing members of the family.
Well, my father, fantastic trumpet player, he played also at the Metropolitan Opera. And his father, my grandfather, played at the Rialto Theater. He was a cornet soloist, downtown somewhere. But he also played at the Met and taught at Manhattan School of Music. He was the trumpet instructor there. And my brother, Ralph, is a terrific jazz trumpet player. He was just at the trumpet conference. He was invited to perform there. And Ralph and I, someday we're going to get together and do a record together. So,
just for fun.
Yeah, just for fun. So yes, a lot of brass players. And my great-grandfather was a trombone player. But my father heard it once and said, maybe, it's good you didn't hear him.
We've got a question from Jared in Wollongong in Australia. When you're coming to Australia, and he also wants to know what you guys do for intonation exercises. Here we go. We're getting the nerd questions always come up. And we love them. The Mouthpiece question will come as well. So when you're going to Australia, that's the first question.
Oh, okay. Yeah, one of my students was warming up this morning. He was buzzing next to the piano. He was playing the piano and buzzing. I think that's, if you can do that and concentrate and align yourself with the piano every day, that's probably the best, I think, one of the best intonation.
There's no excuses these days because you didn't even have a camera on your iPhone.
That's true.
Jörgen?
Yeah, the same thing with piano. That works great if you put chords with the pedal on the piano and try to find the notes. and record yourself. Because I think many times the thing is what we would like to sound like and what we actually sound like comes together in the same brain, and it mixes up sometimes. So it's good to actually hear the truth. Sometimes you think you're playing true, and then you record yourself, and you're actually not in tune. And if you record yourself many times, you start to recognize places, notes that are always too high, always too low. You can sort of anticipate on that for the next time you play. So I think it's not always nice to do because you're confronted with everything you do, but it's the only way to hear what you're actually doing is by recording yourself.
You guys are lucky because you have this sort of sliding thing that you can adjust very quickly. We use our hands a little bit, but rely on the lips a lot for intonation adjusting. How much, this is a question for me, not from the, how much do you rely on your lips for intonation, or can you really do it all with your, I totally answered the question, I apologize.
No, that's a good question. I think it's a little bit of both, you know, and if you're not buzzing the right pitch in your mind and you're thinking high, a lot of students will buzz on their mouthpiece, and you ask them to buzz a song or something, and they can't keep the pitch, and invariably it goes higher. So they just go higher and higher, and that's exactly what happens when they play. So you have to send the right message into the instrument, and then of course the slide is just a fine-tuning mechanism. But I would describe it like that.
Not the sliding thing,
I wouldn't know.
So in ideal situations, you do both. If you correct the slide, you also correct here, you get the best sound of the instrument. We are lucky that we can do it. In like 12 instruments, sometimes you have to go against. Like Jörgen has to go against the maximum quality of the sound just to get it in tune, and we can actually do both at the same time.
Lucky, we're lucky. I have Carol Jarvis is watching from Copenhagen in Denmark. Carol said she's on the way. She's in Copenhagen and she's on her way. She'll be here tomorrow. So we're very happy for that. Now, Alex here with the rest of the team, and he's studio, and he's very proud of him for this festival of inspirations. Let me ask you about the festival, Joe. What's happening this week?
Well, we're all here, just started, and the big thing I've flooded the internet with is about this flash mob. It's a secret, though.
It's a secret. Anybody's watching in the New York area who can get here by 12:30 with a trombone, even if you can't play a trombone, just bring it.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, we're trying to break the Guinness Book of World Records, and it's something that it's a good way to start the festival and bring everybody together. And we're going to do some Bernstein and some Wagner, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
And has anyone learned it by heart, or are we going to do the music on the back?
Putting in the music on the back, and you can hold it, with your bell.
Oh, you can do that. You can't do that because we had a flash mob in Los Angeles. We had about 300 and something. I almost got arrested because at the end of that, we flash mobbed the whole Disney Hall around in that garden in the amphitheater. We had lost our permission, of course we hadn't. And at the end, it's this incredible racket, wonderful voice racket, the police came. And these wonderful horn players who I've done so much for, the police said, who's responsible here? I'm not accepting anyone, but she is. Nice guys, for the loyalty. So, but it was all fine. So, but you guys are all clear to that, aren't you? The police are the one.
Yeah, we should be fine. But, we have such a great lineup here. I just thought
You will point at you.
Thank you.
To not have the International Trombone Festival in New York at some point would be, just a travesty. So I think I took it upon myself to approach the administration here and President Alessi, and they were just wonderful. And so I think it's a dream. It's a dream come true for me to actually host this festival here at this wonderful school. We have this wonderful staff here that's helping out tremendously. Katie and Stephanie, they are absolutely amazing, and so everything is very clear.
You guys find everything out? I saw a few trombone players sort of staring at their Google Maps on the phone now as we came in. We take it that way.
The building is a bit complicated, but we have a lot of signage all around. So,
Really? So flash mob. Everyone playing the flash mob? Yeah. 12:30 Lincoln Plaza. Anybody watching at home who can be here? We might even try and, I don't know, we might try and live stream a bit of that. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah. And meet at 12 o'clock right out here. That's where get your music and so forth.
Yes, we're going to be filming that. So, it's going to be out there forever. So, what are we doing on that? We've also got people that are amazing. Armenia, Hangout, Mouthpiece, and it's great these names. I don't know from Armenia, the Alexander Orchestra. So, really, buzzing. Raymond Down talks about buzzing. That's another. Here we go. I warned you, they're all coming in. You guys do lots of buzzing before playing the trombone, and how long does it normally take?
Well,
sorry, Joe, but I warned you.
You know, I want to say hello to Christian Lindbergh.
Christian Lindbergh.
I think people will talk about buzzing, and you know, it's I think there's no hard, fast rule for each player. You know, recently I went through a long period where I didn't buzz at all, but then there's certain times you need to buzz. So I'm actually buzzing again. I buzz just a little bit in the morning, and in the range that you know that I need work on, and it does help. It does help. I think the main thing with buzzing is everybody in the room or around the world should be able to buzz a song in the middle register and keep the pitch and keep your buzz very straight and relaxed.
With the mouthpiece.
With the mouthpiece, excuse me. Yes, with the mouthpiece.
I just imagine everyone at home going,
and if you can't do that, if you can't keep the tune, and you can't keep the pitch, and you can't keep it steady and relaxed, then it translates onto the instrument. So I think everybody just has to be able to do that one simple function, play a nice little melody, keep it relaxed, and no shaking, you know, and keep the pitch. And then if you can do that, there's huge benefits on the instrument.
any tunes you would recommend for that?
Anything that comes to your mind, you can do.
God Save the Queen.
Sure, you can do that, you know, whatever. Something that trumps that, maybe.
Changing, moving swiftly. Are you about that?
Yes, I am. And I think I know there is some second thoughts with some people because it could harm you. I think everything you do you should do with brains. So if you do something that you feel is going against and it's going making you worse instead of better, then of course you shouldn't do it. But for me it helps a lot to connect like solfege with the actual muscle. If you sing at a certain pitch, you're trained from when you were a baby. You hear a pitch, you sing it and it works. And you have to have sort of the same connection to your lips. When I could hear a certain pitch in your neck, you can actually grab the pitch right away with your lips. And for me, the best,
notes as well.
yes, for me the best way to do that is by buzzing. I do it always connected to the instrument. I don't as to want to say you have to buzz more and like the way you make it to the play. You're just buzzing for 3 hours a day. Always, I think to not harm myself, I always have to go back to playing on the instrument, what it does to the play. 2 bars on the mouthpiece and I use it as a warm-up also, just to get the vibration going, to feel the blood to the lips. So for me, it helps a lot, so I do it. And if you feel it doesn't work for you, you shouldn't.
You said something very important. You said it happens to all of us, I think, because students something and they go away and you do it to an extreme level. And then come back, or they go somewhere else and say, well, sorry what I said I should do that, now I can't play anymore. So, you know what I mean, don't you?
Absolutely.
You have to always be there with the brains and see if it actually benefits you or not. Or you should change the way you do it, or you should not do it at all. But just doing something and go, then it will harm you.
Yeah. And the farmer has asked a question for both of you. Is there any one thing that's frustrated you about your playing, and did you overcome it? I hope you did, but what frustrates you apart from the passion?
Well, you know, The brass player's life is very fragile, and there can be an injury, there can be something that could happen along the way, and some things will change. Age, of course, things change. Your vital capacity gets less, and you have to compensate with other things. So that's probably the most frustrating thing is the air is not the way it used to be. So I have to do things, different things. So actually tomorrow, like tonight, I'm going to announce I have all your email addresses. So I won't send it to the marketers, I promise. But I'm going to announce a festival run in Central Park tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. So if any of you would like to join us, I'm going to announce it, and we're going to meet right out here. And we're going to go to Central Park and have a beautiful brew we can take. And so
that's what they're all thinking.
How far is Central Park? It's probably going to be 5 kilometers.
It's pretty might be like great thing with my children.
Anyway, just for people who are interested in that, I find that helps me a lot, and to get that little maybe extra 2% of air that makes the difference.
Yeah, that's what is an important thing. Everyone's going to find whatever they. And what about you?
There's so many things that are frustrated. No. I mean, in the end, you almost never play the way you want to play. There's not many moments that I think of that was exactly 100% the way I usually have. On the other hand, you have to be careful not to bring yourself too much down by getting frustrated and play worse than you could. So I have that moment in my state where I make myself crazy with that and you have to go worse. So I try to not get too frustrated. And so there's a difference between sort of ambition or frustration. It should be somewhat, I know how I would like to play something, I would almost never really reach it. But if you get frustrated about it all the time, at some point you do bring yourself down and you can't play anything anymore. So there's been many moments that I get frustrated. I have not had a very low register when I started. And then I was doing it from the control that was frustrating, so I had to work a lot to get it okay enough to.
It's the same with you with the trombone players, because even with a horn player, I preach this all the time, that I believe that, if you play the horn, it's no good just playing your concertos, you have to work on your low range, which a lot of people don't because it doesn't sound good, so they don't work on it, and then it doesn't sound good, so they don't work.
I had to really make programs with you, and of course, practicing helps. So at some point,
but it's important for you as a classical trombone to have that.
I think the low register helps the high register to have that. It's like a third. If your third, the bass is so wide, and then it supports the upper register. So I'm always working on that.
What's your favorite piece ever written for trombone? That's a hard one. But it always comes. That's another question that you want to ask. Which is your favorite child? Can you name this one? Someone asked Nico what to know if you play Birdland. He likes that one. But that's a nice piece. It's very nice one.
I think you also pick one piece and say that's it's just impossible.
Do you have a favorite genre? What are favorites? French music, German music?
Also, not really. Like you said before, I listen to everything from baroque to jazz to pop to everything, and there's something good in any style, so I cannot say that I prefer one style or the other.
What about Brooklyn? You listen to Brooklyn?
I love Brooklyn.
You listen to it away from the orchestra?
Sometimes.
I was thinking that there was listen to music.
That's funny because if you're in an orchestra and you play for hours already, it's like you come home, you don't put all the time like the same thing. It's kind of, it's listening, you have to sit down and listen to it. If I have time to do it, but it's not background music.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's a little bit. Maybe in Germany background music, I don't know that. Yeah, that's right. Joe, plays the timpani, so I'm glad we have other instruments where you want to know what that inside background percussion was. Well, sometimes where we sit, it gets a little loud, doesn't it?
Yeah, we have a great setup on stage at David Geffen Hall because everybody has their spot. We worked on it for many years when I first got there, but now the percussion are sort of off to the side.
The horns.
Yeah, more towards the horn. Yeah.
We put ours towards the trombone.
Yeah, it's the opposite. So we don't really are not affected by that too much.
But we love the percussion section.
And the horns don't sit in front of us, which is nice.
That's well.
Yeah.
And that's true because we encourage them to play louder when they play louder, and we don't like them, they don't like us because we're playing louder. It's not a very
Yeah, but it's a very copacetic atmosphere on stage, but no, I love percussion. The first great percussion section I heard was when I played in the Philadelphia Orchestra when Michael Goldston and Alan Abel, Tony Orlando, they were just rock stars, and I just love that way of playing. And of course, our percussion section is fantastic as well.
We love percussion. It's just to ask that question. In the concertgebouw, you have a really thing to do, dividing the orchestra. You have the horns like on the other side. I remember coming down the stairs. It's one of the scariest things you've ever done. Have you seen the concertgebouw? You come in like that.
It's a bit of a complicated stage because there's two stairs crossing the stage. So we are always between the timpani and the stairs, and there's exactly 4 chairs between, which is the trombone section between the timpani. So that's heavy loud. I think the great thing is I think it might have been a little different in the past, but nowadays we talk about these things, and they're great people. They understand, and people. I understand that if you sit in front of me, it can be. You certainly have to find the best possible situation for everyone.
Yeah, that's true.
And then the conductors have trouble walking up and down those stairs.
Yes.
I remember Zubin coming up, walking up the stairs for the bows and so forth. They come all the way up, all the way back down, and all the way back up, and then he tripped right next to me. And then he said, "Shit." Zubin made it, right? Everybody's clapping.
Conductors, they go up the side or?
Some will go up the side.
Right.
Some, I think, some are 18 years old and they go upstairs 3-4 times.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, such a beautiful, we love playing there. How are we doing in the hall? Any questions? Yes, please.
I'm thinking, Joe, your landmark 80s Mahler third. Any remembrances about your solo or the fantastic low brass section? Some of that is just amazing every time I listen to it.
Well, thank you. We were planning on having a trombone section, or section coming to play at this event, but Colin, our associate player, just had a baby, and of course also George Kerman recently had a baby, so everything was a bit difficult to get together and work that out. But thank you very much. I'll never forget doing Mahler 3 with Leonard Bernstein, and at the dress rehearsal, it was packed, absolutely packed, and it was a big moment for me. But I had this great relationship with Leonard Bernstein, and I miss him very much. But the way he did Mahler, was just unmatched, I think. But over the years, you just did Mahler 3 recently, and it's for a trombone player in a symphony orchestra. That's a big event, out of all the things that we play as soloists. So Phil Myers and I were just talking about this, and he said, you guys don't get a chance to do much in the orchestra, meaning that as a soloist, to express yourself, and so when you get to play that particular solo, you really have to step up and study it and think about how you want to do it. So anyway, I've done it, I think, 8 cycles now with 8 different conductors, and I'm very blessed, and I'm sure you've done it many times. So it's
Thanks to him. We played Joe Harmonic with Heidi years ago.
get a chance to do that, it's just a wonderful opportunity.
Big deal. I mean, that's always also the thing in an orchestra when you don't have that many solos. And speaking as a trombone player, I know it's like, you know, and you guys were both playing first trombone, so you're used to be on the top. But all of a sudden, you know, you come from a nice section concert to suddenly playing something like that. You know, I think you prepare differently. Because it's mental, it's the mental preparation as well for it.
Yeah, for me, when you do Mahler 3, just listening to the background, it's just so tonal. You know, there's not many notes that you play. It's A, E, and B flat, A, F. So it's just you just have to be extremely tonal and accurate with your intonation and the sound to get the sound in your head how you want to play it. And just working with that and listening to that's so inspirational for me before you play. Getting excited about and the way it's prepared, in the introduction and the opening of the horns. It's just to get actually the horn sound in the beginning is a great model how to play on the trombone. I think.
Yeah, absolutely. This being in the music is such an important thing for me anyway, for the nerves as well. What do you think?
What was said before, we don't have so many solos. So the first time I played Mahler 3 was not even with my orchestra. The first time I played it, it was when I was 17 years in the orchestra.
That's even harder, isn't it?
And then it becomes a bit different because it's one of these solos. So I have to force myself to prepare it really well. Because in a way the notes are not extremely difficult, not extremely high, extremely low, and it's something that needs to be practiced since we are in school. But still I have to mentally prepare very well for the fact that at that moment it's going to be difficult. So if I prepare that, the first time I played it was with a battle in Willis Festival Orchestra. And that was anyway scary because it was the first time I played with him, the first time I played with his orchestra. It was live recording and everything, but it was also very exciting because it's something you've done since you started studying trombone. You've been waiting for that moment to finally actually play in the orchestra. So it's great, and it's probably the only solo where you really can make a difference as a trombonist for the whole piece. We have solos for one part, two parts, for the other we can make a difference, but in a really negative way.
Well, like you had to do recently on TV, where you had to talk for an hour and then they said, play Bolero.
Yeah.
Every trombone player's dream.
Yes, it was a live television.
And you have to know when to come in.
Yeah, that's
There's a very famous story of somebody at the New York Philharmonic before me never played it, ever. I mean, he played it, but never played with an orchestra.
On purpose?
No, he was sitting and waiting in the concert, and it says tacit, and then there's like 16 bars, and then you play it. But he didn't know. He knew the solo, but he didn't know the order of the solo. So he ended up playing it one chorus too soon. And the conductor was, and he thought the conductor was enjoying it. he kept going.
It's hard to tell the difference sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. He kept going, and he almost made it like halfway, and then finally the trumpet player said, "No, it's the next one." So he played it almost twice. He got to play it twice.
That's one way, that's a good trick, actually.
Yeah.
You guys, I could talk to you for hours and hours and hours, but we want to have a little music as well. I'm going to prepare for the flash mob. For everyone watching at home, I have something for you to do while we're preparing for the music. I want you to take a photo of something of where you're watching from. This is great. When I ask for this, I get photos of people's dogs watching a Horn Hangout. And, people in their underwear, but like, dressing gowns and in one part of the world, people drinking breakfast tea in other parts of the world. So we want to see where you're watching from. You can either tweet it to us with the hashtag Horn Hangouts, or put it on Facebook or the Horn Hangouts page, but we just love to see where you're watching from. So if you want to do that, while we're getting ready, the other thing is, before I say, buy the CD, you can put it here, is it downstairs? I'm sure it is. Just for fun. Thank you so much. I didn't have to buy mine.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarah Willis, for being here.
the CD, and would you like to introduce that?
Yes, now we had to think very quickly because we lost two of the members, and I thought of Mr. Jörgen, Dr. Jörgen, fantastic Swedish trombonist, and he flew all the way over here at the last minute. He's going to be doing a clinic, he'll be performing in our concert solo, and he's just a wonderful gentleman, and so we're going to invite him. He's coming up on stage, and then the wonderful, my wonderful colleague here at Juilliard, Paul Pollard, amazing bass trombone and tenor trombone player who played with the Metropolitan Opera, and we work together running the Juilliard Trombone Choir. So we're honored to play with these two gentlemen.
So let's just set up, and thank you guys for coming. We'll have a huge number of people on the stage. We'll say goodbye to the Horn Hangouts, but enjoy the music and see back on the Horn Hangouts here tonight. So touched to see a couple of my Horn Hangout teachers in the audience. It's something that you guys say or more than fantastic. Enjoy the festival. We're going to be around today, filming all things trombone, and see you at the festival. Okay, and enjoy. What are we going to do here?
Not It's a piece, it's an aria by Handel called In den angenehmen.
Which means in the nice bushes.
It's arranged especially for our quartet by Belgian arranger, composer, and trombonist taken to help.
Good. Well, thank you so much. Thank you guys for coming in. Thank you very much.